Hey, there it goes. That was smooth that time. Um, Assuming my audio is going through. I forgot I had created a new live stream intro for this year, and I just wasn't using it. I'm dumb. So, new live stream intro. What's going on, guys? Uh, it's Shoky Sunday Live. Yay. Hi, guys. And I'm going a little bit early tonight just because I kind of don't want to stay up too late, and I don't know how this is going to go. I did want to do kind of an old school just Q&A dealy, and because I have so many new people through the multiple channels, figured, hey, if there's anybody who just wants to ask me questions and stuff like that, and of course we just do normal chit chat and whatnot like that, it's going to be good. So there's vlogs and everything else like that on the secondary channel that'll be explaining a lot of what's going on with, or what happened with the puppy situation. For those who were following it all and knew that we had a puppy for the last couple of weeks, there'll be a vlog up very soon for that. That will explain the whole thing if you didn't see my post or following me on Instagram or on Facebook. So, hi, I see you there, Mr. Eric. I've gotten back to doing reviews. I've got to edit a bunch of stuff, and I have a new In the Kitchen video coming out. Excuse me, I just chugged some Pepsi. New In the Kitchen video coming out this week. A whole bunch of stuff. In fact, I think I have to run tracking. I think I have a package coming tomorrow that will either be an addendum or it'll be its own In the Kitchen short, which is always fun for me to do. Is Camille a girl's name? Don't mind me. I'm just waiting for dinner to be done. It's all good, Eric. Camille. Kumail, I think, is a guy's name, because I know Kumail Nanjiani. I don't really know any Camille's like that. I only know Camille's from fiction. So I think it's technically a unisex name, but in the world of a Gundam series that I'm not going to watch, yes, it's entirely a girl's name. Anyways. What's really weird is that the live chat is not refreshed for me on as I'm watching the channel. That's strange. It's not even showing the same amount of people watching. Only I'm watching through the phone, and it shows that there's only one person watching and nothing in the chat. That's odd. But I did get a whole lot of stuff in. I also bought a bunch of crap. It is what it is. That is weird that I'm not seeing the rest of the chat. Like, I don't see what Eric said. That's strange. But I also don't know. I'm not entirely certain which. I'm streaming to all 3 channels. And I thought I could stream to 4 places, but I can't. Camille is basically modern day Ashley. Ashley is actually originally, I believe, a male's name and then got ported over to being a female name. I knew, I believe one of my best friend's dad's best friends was an Ashley. And I always thought it was funny that he was going on fishing trips with Ashley. I'm like, your mom's okay with this? I didn't honestly realize that Ashley was a dude's name as well. Generally spelled different sometimes, though. But you can also do Ashley with an I for females and stuff like that. I think depending on the spelling, like, I feel like Camille with a C would probably be a female name, whereas Camille with a K would probably be a guy's name. So I don't know. It's one of those gender neutral-ish names as well. And guys, if you are lurking, please say hi. And once again, this is a cool Q&A dealy. So if there's anything you want to ask me, whether it's about hobbies, whether it's about music, whether it's about action figures, or just about me, by all means, because I know there's a lot of new people who probably know zero about me. Thoughts on new Seed anime in Gunpla? Oh, you mean the Penelope X strike, or the turn Penelope strike. I could care less, to be honest. It's an okay design, but I hate the stupid spiky backpack they added to it. I kind of don't care at all about anything that's happening in the Seed universe. I mean, I'll probably watch it. I'll give it at least 1 or 2 episodes. I think the rule of 3 will apply. where it's 3 in or 3 out. So if you get through the first 3 and you're digging it, stick with it. If you're through the first 3 and you're not latched in yet, get rid of it. But if you make it to that point, you got to make it through the last 3. Okay. Yes, I know it's the eclipse. Or El Sip. Been a long week since the last Shoky Sunday. I guess. Did I go live last Sunday? I guess not. No, I did. Last week I did Home Friday live over on the 3rd channel. So yeah. I think Seed Eclipse is manga. It is what it is. Hold on. Sorry, Mad Luna 123. Hey, Hazel Campbell. What's going on? Okay, so Hazel is from the other channel. I know that name. Give me a second. I have to scroll through the comments. So, let's deal with Mad Luna first, and I'll answer you there. Possibility of GBN being real. GBN. Oh, you mean within universe? Or do you mean they could make GBN in real reality? You got to specify a little bit on that one. Come back to me with your answer there, Mr. Mad Luna person. I'm still not seeing the full chat when I click on it. Does anybody else have any issues with that? It seems to be an issue on my end where the chat is not updating as I'm watching my own stream. Also, Hazel, so if you're coming over from the 3rd channel and you're used to seeing this background here, so this is most of my regular action figure collection. So for up here, I keep forgetting I'm mirrored. So this whole side is Power Rangers stuff, and then kind of empty-ish shelves down here. Oops, sorry, backwards. Back here is all statues they're all anime statues. And then up here, I got Dragon Ball figures. This is a mix of Ninja Turtles, Back to the Future, and Ronin Warriors. That's just kind of a mix and match shelf. This is more Ninja Turtles. Down behind me here, I've got transformable box creatures. One of my favorite things. So for those who don't follow my main channels, I do a lot of reviews of Transformers. So I've got Transformer shelves, a whole bunch of Transformer shelves. I've got Star Wars figures. I've got more Transformers, Thundercats, more Transformers. And then if you spin this way, my camera's going to fall off. This whole wall over here used to be my backdrop. That is my Gunpla model kit. So that's another Japanese dealie. And that's what a lot of the questions you'll see. If you're foreign to my main channels, these are the things. So these are the things that I nerd out about. These are my hobbies aside from the music stuff. Okay. It's too hot. I don't know what you're saying here. You're being weird. GBN in reality. So you're saying that somebody might be creating actual like GBN based deal, like a VR type thingy. I mean, I literally know nothing what you're talking about, but hey, I mean, it is what it is. Or are you saying like they're going to expand on the game that they already have and make it more ridiculous and things? Is collecting one of your hobbies? Collecting is my main hobby, realistically. Shotaku. That's what I should just rename one of my channels to. Like have an anime channel that's nothing but Shotaku. Hold on, give me a second here. What kind of Gunpla would you build? Oh, for a real GBN style? Hazel, sorry, we're going to talk a lot of nerd stuff as well, but feel free to ask other questions. That's what we're here for. I don't know, because I've got so many customs I would use anyways. So, I mean, I've got my GNXS, I've got my Gray's Kuraibata, I've got a whole bunch of different, I've got my tractor, I've got all kinds of customs I already have, so I would just use one of those. Fenice custom? No. Maybe for you. But yes, collecting is my main hobby, and as I've mentioned before, the name is Shoky Reviews, so I review things. So if you see it, I have reviewed it on any of my other 2 channels. And then the music stuff that I'm doing for It Doesn't Have to Make Sense, which is my 3rd channel, for those who have not bothered to go look at that, go over to the 3rd channel called It Doesn't Have to Make Sense. where I go over, or at least for the time being, I'm mostly doing music reviews and things like that, and I'm highly inconsistent, but I'm trying. Having a small furry terrorist living with me for 2 weeks made everything incredibly difficult. Where I literally went from having most of the day available to record videos to having 2 hours at night. So, yeah. So it is what it is. But yes, collecting is a thing. Would you, hold on, Red Animator, sorry, I've read that as Reanimator. Would you ever review the Zero Judge third-party Gunpla? I would, but I would not build it. I would review somebody else's build of it, because I'm not interested in it, or at least not interested in owning it. I would at least look at it. Now, we've had many discussions about third party versus KO. The Judge Gundam, because we're not technically not really a Gundam because it's third party. It can't carry the official title, so to speak. I do consider it to be a third party thing. It's not ripping off any designs directly. They didn't steal Bandai's thing, like, Daban or any of the other ones that did that. So it's kind of like the same thing as Supernova. Supernova was a third party Gunpla builder because they're not directly copying Bandai designs. They're molding customs that people have made into things. So I can accept those things. As for an actual KO, I would not. Unless I did not know it. Yeah, okay, so Eric's got that, so I would redo that. Now, the thing is, though, Robot Show Tunes, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. Now, Eric, the thing is that you paint everything. I don't like to specifically review painted things because then, articulation and stuff is limited because you don't want to damage the paint and whatnot. So, that would be that. Also, Hazel, since you're here, if you have anything you'd like me to check out, music-wise, by all means, suggest it. Also, guys, if you're here on the normal channel, and like I said, my third channel, I'm mostly doing music reviews and checking out other interesting content, videos, and stuff like that. If you have suggestions and you want to come watch those things for me to react or review, by all means, throw them in the the comment section. I was trying to say chat and comment, and it came out cont. Apologies for anybody who may have heard a bad word. Sorry about that. But you know what I really need is some notebook paper or something. I used to keep notebooks in here. Where are they? Are they in the drawer or the thing here? Yes, they are. That's right. I do have my notebooks. That's closed. So I actually, for those who haven't been around that long, I used to do Shoky Nerdcast way back when, and actually we had a cast of people who came on and we talked about nerdy stuff, and then eventually everybody kind of split off, and then I started doing Shoky Nerdcast one-on-one. So I was listening to a couple of those back in the day. But this particular notebook I've got here, so this is the notebook that I used to write my questions in for interviews, for one-on-ones. I was designing something here. I don't know what. Oh, that was a custom hammer. The other thing is, back, if you guys remember, last year doing the Sunday night Divers Re-Rise reviews, this is where I used to take all my notes before we started typing them. So you can just see here pages upon pages upon pages of notes. I guess this is actually all season 1. This is crazy. So now I'm going to scroll through and find an empty page so I can make notes. Wow, I can't believe I used to write all this by hand. Holy crap. Okay, and then the origin reviews stopped right there. So, old school notebooks. Okay. Glad you're better from Rona. Yeah, if you're just now checking in from when I was sick, that's crazy, man. Not that I like talking about it that much, but, Rona was bad. Okay, hold on. Bagel Guy, favorite IBO kit. Grimgard, simple. Brain is spinning IBO bound dock build from Rex of a Gundam frame Grimgeared Hexaframe and Scratchfield. Interesting. Okay. Adam Chan. Oh, yeah. Song for Home. I'm going to write that down because I already wanted to do it. So thank you for reminding me. I could technically do that on a Home Friday. I was going to, but Home Friday Live just did not happen this week if you saw the video. Song for Home. And I need to do a few more Throwback Thursdays. Also, I need some old music that's at least 20 to 30 years old to react to. So, guys, let me know your music selections just for those things. My vaccination was almost as bad as his beer flu. Some people have had it bad. A buddy of mine had it real bad for one day and then woke up and he was fine. So it just matters. Okay. I wish they would finally embrace the DMC X Power Rangers toy form since VO are in both. I feel like I missed a comment. What are you talking about? The DMCX Power Rangers in toy form. DMC. Explain. I'm not sure what you're asking. Wicked old. That sounds familiar, but also doesn't, so I'm okay with that. There were some interesting things on the last time I did a you guys pick my stuff, because some of those got blocked. By the way, there was a Russian performance, like a Russian version of The Voice that I reacted to. The song was great. It was Wicked game cover, but they got hardcore claimed and blocked by that thing. And of course, that is basically like Russia's TV network, which is connected directly to the government. So they shut that down hard. So I had to. Oh, wait. There's no Devil May Cry / Power Rangers thing, though. R.I.P. Ortiga? Devil. Yeah, well, I mean, like what? Johnny Young Bosch? He's in everything. You can't just go by voice actors. They gotta have real crossover potential. Like, the Power Rangers. Yeah, Power Rangers. Pretty sure Power Rangers in DC did a crossover. Power Rangers Ninja Turtles did a crossover. I have it over there. The figures are coming, and I will have them. Are you getting the Herbie and Vanishing Point? I'm guessing that'd be. You mean these? Right here? Yeah. There's a short in the kitchen video. Did it go live yet? No, it didn't go live yet. So spoilers, that has not gone live yet. So I'm gonna have multiple in the kitchen videos. Apologies. So yes, Ortiga was a Russian singer. She did some Gundam. Oh, okay. I don't know these things. It is what it is. Virgil VO and SVF. Official, so Capcom is possible. You're just making stuff up. Yeah, you're just making stuff up. It's fine. I mean, it's just like, yeah, but you can't just. There's so much licensing that goes on with these things, especially when you get into modern Power Rangers and who owns them now with the Hasbro thing, and also like Capcom. So you can't like necessarily cross those rights without a lot of money. And this was an argument I had with Rodimus a while back on a live stream, because we were talking about the comics and who owns the rights to the Power Rangers comic license, because they, DC and Turtles did their comic crossover, and then they released figures, but it was in like the DC line, and it was based off of those Turtles. So the thing is that the Boom Comics did the crossover with the Turtles, and because Boom owns most of the rights to the comic book versions of those, but Hasbro also, with the Lightning Collection. So it's like Hasbro / Boom owns the right to what happens in the comics, and they can produce those things. So the Ninja Turtles can cross over and be featured in Power Rangers media that way without even having any Saban crossover, because Saban doesn't own those things. So it gets complicated, and just having crossed voice actors really means nothing, because so many of the actors who were Power Rangers have like Johnny Young Bosch has been in something like what 30, 40 series as a voice actor. Are you going to be able to cross over all of those things? So no, I don't believe that's a thing. Yeah, and Ryu and Chun-Li have Power Ranger forms. Yeah, but like that's a weird thing. Depends on what kind of canon you want to have. I mean, technically they were in that movie, but how really official is that movie? Um, you know, it's like there's those things that are canon and not canon and can crossover. It's like you have the rights to this, and that's about it. But it can be complicated. Hold on. Are you going to put a cap on your collection, or are you going to continue? Well, since you are new here, Hazel, I have capped my collection to and mostly because of space, because this is not a big room, and I'm not allowed to overtake much more. Though the wifey did say that when we move, I could possibly have the master bedroom for my collection, assuming we don't have if we don't get a 3-bedroom, then I'll be allowed to take the bigger bedroom for my collection, because that way I can do more. I do want a 3-bedroom so that I can have a workspace and a collection space, like a man cave. Also, that will allow us to still be able to use a bedroom for like if people stay over and stuff. So I won't have to have my review set and my build space and my collection space all don't have to be the same room. My review set and a build space can be one room, and I can have an airbrush thing and all that stuff. Either way, so I can break things up. Right now, this is a multi-purpose room, and it's out of room for purpose. Anyways, so I have capped my collection at what I desperately can't live without. My Gunpla, or my models, those are basically like, that's really cool. I want it. I used to buy like every new thing that was coming out to review it, which everybody appreciated to a degree. But then trying to keep up and try to buy everything brand new was really breaking me, not to mention delays. So now I just build what I want versus building everything. And when it comes to like my statues, I have another shelf that's actually over here in the corner that's blocked off because I ran out of space. I'm literally using that for stuff that, like, I've got more statues pre-ordered, things like that. I'm collecting less action figures, like my Star Wars ones down here. It's kind of capped off at very specific runs of characters and movie sets. Things like that. My Batman collection is done because they aren't going to make the rest of them. So, like, let me point over here. So over here behind the microphone. Now you can't hear me, but it is what it is. So over here, these are all my Batman Dark Knight's Metal statues, and because they're not making any more of those, that collection is done. So certain parts of my collection are finished. Other parts I'm going to keep collecting because it's what I do. But like for Gunpla or Gundams, as you would, I'm going to pick the things that I want to keep, and then the rest is going to be turned into either selling to people or maybe donating purposes for kit bashing or for contests in the future. By the way, not making an official announcement yet, but the MS100 contest is potentially coming back soon for the builders. It's going to be a little bit different, and I'm going to be running it with somebody new. Not new to everything, but he wanted to do another contest, and he had no ideas. And I said, hey, I really wanted to do this particular concept. And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. It's like, yeah, let's do that. So basically, we're going to roll over the MS100 again to this year. It may just be a permanent thing. We'll just always do the MS100 because it's a pretty cool deal. So look forward to an official announcement after we work out the kinks and stuff like that. So yes. I like how Heaton's just continuing to talk about Ortega. Cool. Swapping out when better items get replaced. In some cases, yes. Hold on, let me put that on the screen so everybody can see it at home, because sometimes the chat doesn't show up. Um, in some ways, yeah, because there are certain things, especially with the new age things. So I've got now that they are upgrading. So we've got the new Bumblebee here. I got the old one. So I'm gonna be replacing the Bumblebee within my collection. And when New Age releases their Ultra Magnus, I'm going to be replacing the Magic Square Ultra Magnus that I have. So that'll be gone. As for rotating shelves, like, okay, so this collection goes in storage for a while. That's too much work, not to mention when you have lighting that is almost permanently fixed. You can't change that much. And I've changed it a little, and I don't like having the exposed holes. Also, I forgot that I left the alternate, dang it, alternate chest for Jetfire sitting out there. I need to put that away or put it on his backpack or something. I'm also going to be in the new space, wherever it is we go. I want to space things out, get more shelves, assuming I have room. Because right now I don't have, like, I'm out of space going that way towards the door because I have to have room for the door to open. But, like, I want to do proper dioramas for my Transformers and maybe my Star Wars stuff. And then even, like, basically everything. So I want to do more Turtles because these NECA figures are amazing. I want to do dioramas for them. I want to do dioramas for the 52 toys. So I'm going to be breaking those things up, and they'll be permanent displays, essentially. Hold on. Alex Lemons. Heidi Ho gang, I've arrived. Hi. I didn't actually mean to think on that. Do I read the IDW Transformers comics? No, but I would. Are you talking about the originals or the, like, rebirth situation? I was afraid you dropped the Funicorn. Oh, thank you for the reminder. This is a live stream, so we do have to have the Trophy of Apathy, the Funicorn, the Zero Fucks Given. No, that is a permanent fixture that will never go away. Hopefully by then Gunpla will not be in short supply. Yes, hopefully whatever's going on with Bandai and or the shipping world will get its things fixed out. And it's not just Gunpla. I mean, like, I've got Transformers that are sitting in a boat off the coast of California that are not making it to the port because I ordered them through Nate. And Nate being a small person, of course, they're not prioritizing his stuff at all. So he's got orders that people placed like a year ago that I've been waiting forever. And, like, his tracking shows on the boat that's been sitting there for a month and a half. Because he told me more than a month ago, yeah, it'd be about 2 weeks till it gets here. I was like, cool. And then still nothing. And then one of them has shown zero progress anywhere. So I've got an order that is somewhere. I don't blame Nate for that. I blame the shippers and, them not caring about a single small retailer. Oh, the originals from 05. I mean, sure, I could just read 13 years of comics. I mean, I would. Okay, hold on. I'll go back to that in a minute, Hazel, because that is interesting. That did not go the direction it was supposed to go, and I think you. Yeah. I know what you meant. Okay, so let me deal with this. I would, if I knew somebody who had, like, the complete collection of the IDW hardcovers or trades, I would read through it, or an omnibus. I would read it. The omnibuses are huge. So no, I'm not against reading it. It's just like, how do you catch up at this point? It's like trying to, even though it's finished, it would be like starting to watch One Piece now. For the anime fans. Okay, favorite Zord of all time. That's hard because there's so many good ones. I want to default to the original Dragon Zord, but there's other ones that I liked a lot along the way. The Astro Megazord was really cool. I like the transforming aspect of it, all that stuff. That's why I have more. Well, I guess I don't have more. I also love the Ninja Megazord, but if you're talking about singular Zords, Falcon Zord or Dragon Zord or Tiger Zord, anything that Tommy basically did. Weird. Okay. Is this a follow from the Suez debacle? No. This was Rona. This was sitting off the coast before the Suez problem. Okay, back to what Hazel asked. So Uh, I believe that was sarcasm or a mistype. So I did. It was technically a Patreon thing, but Patreon is shut down now until I revamp it, or if anybody even cares to even help support that way. To be totally honest, um, so all I did, I commented on this video that it looked funny because the singers are all clearly on a green screen and cut out, and their whole performance is added into this actually very cool backdrop and stuff that's happening on the screen. I like the video, but clearly people misunderstand me, and some people were kind of getting mad at what I said. I'm like, whoa, hold on. I was like, I like the video. I was just pointing out how silly that the car, just literally green screen cutouts are, because it's just so blatant. Um, People don't care. Some people get mad at me just pointing out stuff in the video itself, but I like the colors. I like the thing they're doing. I like the effects they use, filters and whatnot. So, I mean, it's a cool video. I was just laughing at the blatant green screen cutouts. Okay, I just got hold on, red animator. I got a Gunpla I ordered back in early December, was shipped out December 14th, got it yesterday, 2-day shipping from California to Maryland. Nice. Where you at in Maryland, if you don't mind me asking? Because I know a lot of people in Maryland, mostly around Baltimore. Sorry, Baltimore. Yeah, no, a lot of Gunpla were severely delayed. I got P-Bandai kits that are coming in now that were waiting. I had orders that are actually coming in slightly early, so that means they must have got there sooner than the estimated delay date. Was not received well. Yes. I knew what you meant, Hazel. Okay, Jason Krischer. Or is it Krischer? Kreischer. Trade paperbacks or than the issues of YouTube as motion comics. Yes, I get that, but I'd rather. I guess if Comixology has it or something like that, I would go for that too. To be honest, I would do it that way. But I don't like reading on the computer. That just I want the book. When it comes to comics, I'm kind of like that. I'm more of a traditionalist. I want to hold the thing. I mean, like I've got a stack of comic books right over here. Turtles, Batman, Power Rangers over there. I've got more piled up. I've got 2 long boxes in there overflowing of old and new comics. So it's like stuff that I want to read, or I should say I have read. Things like that. Okay. Whoa, went too far. I'm suppet mad. How dare you? Good job, Sean. Okay. The IDW verse is finished. That one, yes. Just realized Dragon's Sword has been rusting in Angel Grove Bay for decades now. Yeah, that's the sad part. That in the regular timeline, the Dragon's Sword has just been sitting there because nobody's bothered to. Except, here's the thing: if Tommy could use the Master Morpher to access his green powers again, he could technically use the Dragon's Sword again if he wanted to. Essex. Oh, okay. Yeah. I know exactly where you're at. You're actually you're close to my buddy Arthur. What was that Jesus mini film again? I forgot the title. Oh, Fist of Jesus. Uh, okay, guys, if you're not super religious, or you're at least not offended that easily when it comes to said things, I suggest looking up Fist of Jesus on YouTube. It is so absurd and so absolutely fantastic for like a dude making a film with his like friends and some extras. It's absolutely ridiculous. I could not believe what I watched, but it's one of the best things I've watched in its sheer absurdity. So yes. Okay. If you don't have time, read all the Last Stand and the Sins of the Wreckers. No, I've heard those are fantastic stories. I like that. Have I watched Invincible? Yes, I did. I watched Invincible while on COVID. While I was out with COVID. Fist of Jesus. Yes, there you go. Invincible was good. But considering it's on the same streaming network as The Boys, it has stiff competition. I did actually, and I've watched, for those who haven't seen it on Netflix, I did watch Legacy of. I'm drawing a blank. The heck, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? I have to go back through my own Facebook timeline. Give me a second. Somebody will give me the answer. But it's basically another superhero show that I think is based off of a comic at some point in his life. I'm going to scroll back because I actually typed up a review for this. Got to get past all the puppy posts. There were a lot of puppy posts. Yep, lots of puppy posts. Give me a second. Nope, still puppy post. I go back further. I have been watching Star Trek Discovery, though, using a VPN. I need to get ExpressVPN to sponsor me for a few channels. God, he was so tiny. Jupiter's Legacy. There we go. Yeah, the irony. It got canceled. Of course, actually, it's not even irony. So here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to literally read you my review of Jupiter's Legacy for those who care. So I said, okay, so I just finished the first season of Jupiter's Legacy, only season, and it was all right. It has a Lost feel to it as it's telling two parallel stories, one in the present and one in the past. The acting is decent, but they've got good B-tier actors and a bunch that no one has ever heard of. In many ways, it's much more like Invincible than The Boys. There's a mystery that they have to solve that will change everything once they figure it out, but the more interesting plot is the one from the past on how they even got their powers. There's still a mystery there on the why and the who, but to me, the period piece of the Great Depression is a great backdrop for superheroes to suddenly show up. The present timeline plot is kind of boring, mostly dealing with an aging group of superheroes and the legacy they're passing on to their kids in regards to being superheroes themselves. And of course, the world has changed so much since the good old days that the rules of the Union of Superheroes abide by can't keep anyone safe anymore in a world with supervillains who have no rules. Yes, it's the Batman conundrum, how to be effective but not kill. And the younger generation is pushed past the breaking point and can't follow the rules anymore if they want to survive. Therein lies our conflict with our utopian hero. The man himself, the beacon of justice and hope, and the torchbearer of all things heroic, who cannot change. Okay, hopefully I'll be here for a while. Budget over $250? Good God. Okay, so let me continue. While it's just good enough, it's not a super deep story. There's supervillains doing secret villainy stuff, and baby supervillains also doing bad guy stuff, and even the daughter of our Superman, I did it as two separate words, Superman, doing bad stuff because of daddy issues. The whole show is literally about daddy issues and how not to deal with them if you have superpowers. The legacy aspect is the driving force behind the show. Will the next generation be able to hold up to what came before? No, is a short answer, because the older generation can't let natural evolution happen. It's Batman versus Red Hood, but on a grander scale. Based off the Mark Miller comic universe. Gotcha. Now, aside from the plot, the show looks okay and has a variety of locations, especially in the sepia tone-soaked past. What is happening to Sheldon is definitely more interesting, as it visibly changes the world by introducing more color. No joke, it actually does. The budget is obviously less than The Boys. I said that not knowing, but I'm pretty sure. As the effects and costumes are barely CW level, that's kind of thing. Flying and moving fast are done significantly better with the CW cheese behind it, and I totally agree with that. Super speed looks better the way the CW did it. Flying looks better the way CW did it. And they're all super strong, but it never feels like it. Nothing they ever do seems to have weight behind it, even in huge fights where people get smashed or blown to pieces or thrown 100 miles. The wire and harness work for movement and flying is stiff and doesn't flow. Going forward, I hope this is one of the most in-depth reviews I ever wrote about a TV show, by the way. And this is on my personal Facebook. Going forward, I hope the effects get far more better, or get far more time and effort to make them better. There is no more forward. Costumes are super geeky, especially for the original 6. which seem to be a part of the package. Like, they got their powers, they got their suits, and they don't change them over like 90 years. Even Batman changed his symbol after a while, and Superman gave his S a color change. There is some impressive and pretty effects, and the show is shot pretty well, and the aging up of characters is done mostly well. You get used to the gray hair and wrinkles they give to actors who are not that old. There's also a sense of time as the season takes place maybe over the course of a week. Injuries also stick around to give you a sense of time, so no instant healing or magic tech to quickly heal things up. Heroes are worshipped and well known in this world, secret identities be damned, and the weight of that is felt by the characters, especially the younger generation who have to live up to daddy and mommy. Some handle it better than others. Brandon tried to be a good boy and not let his dad down, whereas Chloe says, fuck dad and his bullshit, I'm going to be a drugged out supermodel doing whatever I want to piss him off. And they definitely aren't subtle with her story. Is only $55 million a season? How? That doesn't even seem right. That makes no sense. That literally makes no sense. Okay, she is the only character with some development in the present, other than her mom, Lady Liberty. I'm pretty sure they stole that from The Tick. If you guys remember Lady Liberty from The Tick, and that's a problem. Every character is super flat, almost entirely one note. They try to introduce arc to people like Sheldon or Utopian by having him talk to people about their feelings or his own thoughts, but he is too rigid and it infuriates everyone around him. His family, or what he has that resembles friends. There's an odd pause there. His issues are the show, and keep all other characters from having their own arcs. But I guess that's the point. Everyone wants out from under his thumb. So unlike the, and this isn't written here, so unlike, help me out here. I'm drawing a blank here from the boys. Homelander. So unlike Homelander, who is literally a tyrant, and everybody fears him, everyone is just kind of being held down by this guy's morality, even though it doesn't really fit anymore. Okay, where did I leave off here? Okay. And while technically the Superman character, he is morally more Batman. Out of the original 6, they're all flavors of Superman with a different identifying power, but strength and flying are all there. In capes. Everyone gets a damn cape. I touched on it before, but the costumes are generally super cheesy and kind of plasticky. Some of the new kids have pretty decent costumes. I know I'm losing everybody just by reading this, but hey, it's a review of a thing. So, leading me to the question, who made the costumes? Who made any of their tech? Why does everyone know their identities of the heroes? Where are the bad guys even coming from? So the next problem is the world building. You start in a world where kids with superpowers have to hide them, then jump ahead to a world where there are no secrets. Fall back to a world where superheroes eventually show up. So the real world building kind of gets done in the past, and we see the fruits of that building in the present. But there is a 80 to 90 year gap. And then we get some exposition about past character conflicts, and we see the consequences of that. But to me, as a viewer, we're just moving location to location, saying the same stuff over and over. And changing locations... changing locations is showing me a world, but not building it. Something new Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I heard about that. But I mean, what was Game of Thrones doing for the final 2 seasons? Also, would it be more expensive because of what they had to do during COVID when they made it? Okay, changing location. Okay, so while you're getting the backstory of the original 6, Sheldon, Utopian, specifically the present cast is just here doing stuff, talking about things that happen off screen. We talk a lot about fights that happen off screen, people who are killed off screen. And except for Chloe, you don't connect to anyone. You don't care about any of them. Many aren't around long after you sort of learn their names. One character is around nearly every single episode, and you don't learn his name until he becomes important in a flashback. And unless I completely missed that, you guys should know who I'm talking about character-wise. I didn't know the guy's name until they said it in the past, and then they said it every time after that, but it's like he didn't necessarily have a name at that point. Give me a second. I think I just lost my thingy. Yeah, I lost it. Okay. Uh, where was I? Yeah. Okay. So that's the biggest flaw in the show: an empty, shallow world of flat characters trying not to be flat if only they could. And you know very little about most of them, and don't care about why they are even doing things. Both Invincible and especially the boys excel at these aspects: character motivation, the world they live in. Jupiter's Legacy is too concerned with a legacy built on nothing. It looks and feels like an NBC show, and the CW/WB is light years ahead of them in the TV superhero world. Hell, even the Marvel series were all written better. This reminds me of the short-lived Inhumans. If you watch the show in a bubble, you'd be totally lost, likely not care much about the characters. It relied on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and the way it built up the concept of the Inhumans. Sadly, that show didn't survive even with a decent setup and world building. This wasn't even given a leg up by a series before it. It's building out its backstory to keep you interested, and it's the only interesting part. I want to know how we got to today, because today is kind of boring. So if I'm ranking them off-brand superheroes, goes The Boys, Invincible, somewhere way below is Jupiter's Legacy. And I would even put a Watchmen show above it, and I haven't even watched that. So yeah. There's your answer to if I watched Invincible. I liked Invincible better than Jupiter's Legacy. I got slightly bored with Invincible because it was repeating a lot of stuff over and over, especially with Mark. And then like some of the changes I guess they made along the way, like from the comics, especially to Amber's character, a lot of people seem to be pissed off about the new Amber in the show versus the one from the comics, and I guess it is what it is. But like part of me is kind of intrigued by the way the comics, I guess, started in the future, and then it's all Mark like telling Amber about everything, and she didn't figure out who he was, blah 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 blah. It's kind of how I feel like the Eternals movie will feel. Yes, but I believe there will be enough direct references to the Marvel, like the events of Marvel so far, and characters in the MCU, like Thanos, like the other, or like the not the Eternals, the Celestials, because we should see some Celestials in this movie, because good God, they're the ones who created the Eternals. And it would be cool if we see young Thanos in this. I think Eternals will be pretty decent, to be totally honest. And hell, the director just won an Oscar for another movie, but you know, it is what it is. It is going to be hard to buy into the Eternals. They're lesser known. They're going to be in the past, and then like ancient past. But I think it'll be okay. You know, if it paves the way for a lot of other stuff, I'm okay with it. But it also doesn't need to be sequel bait. It should be a standalone movie, and I think that's what Marvel needs to work on a little bit. You know, it's like, can they make something that can stand alone in the universe and just be like set up? Like if we could have got an Infinity Quest movie, even a short, you know, of Thanos getting up to the point where he's collecting Infinity Stones, and to the fact he had two at one point, and then let him go stupidly. It is what it is. So, well, kind of had to. You know, Loki had to without really knowing it. Or he clearly didn't realize what he had at the time. Sounds like the front take place after Endgame. No, the current timeline Eternals, because you know we're going to get the flashback stuff from ancient whenever to current, and then probably other flashbacks along the way. So yes, it'll be a dual timeline story, as it were. So no, I understand that part. So I mean, like, then again, some of those scenes may be like end of the movie, like it's caught up to Endgame. You know, because you got to think about this is like, how would they show the Eternals as they are getting vaporized? You know, if they got snapped, is what it is. Joe Guns, what up? Do you want? Hold on. So you want event movies like DC. Well, see, here's the thing. They're doing that. So they have an entire there's going to be a bunch of animated Marvel movies in phase 4. Some are going to be what ifs, some will probably be tied in to some degree, or there'll be stuff that's, in the past. They are going to do that, but um if it's a standalone thing, like you said, an event movie or short series of things, I don't know. Because even the TV shows are all tying in directly to the MCU now, unlike before. They were just sort of, one was allowed to reference the other, but not vice versa. Now the TV shows are the MCU. And then they even have the animated shows that are coming. Those are all going to technically be in there, except sort of the What If series. But like, if they had an Infinity Quest, it would be neat. Something like that, where it's just like one-offs, or like comics. It's like they're building this movie universe as you would build a comic universe, and that's the way they should do it. Okay, so we need a 6-issue run of a show, so we get what was the one that just went through? Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That was basically a 6-issue run. You get WandaVision, 8-issue run. You get whatever the next one is, Loki. I don't even know how many episodes that's going to be. And that's kind of a standalone thing in its own right, but it's going to play into the movies. It's going to play into the whole universe. But you want live action, big budget event movies. But the thing is they do those. I'm just saying that not everything has to have sequels. Something can just happen, and it's part of a bigger, broader story, and that's the end of it. And we can reference it, but we don't need 3 movies of everything that we see. The Eternals won't need a sequel, but they could bring them in later as a thing, I believe you're slightly off base. Because Marvel throwing all the money at their small projects. I mean, they're only the biggest film company in the freaking world. They had a whole bunch of anime standalones during the buyout. Iron Man, Wolverine. Yeah. They did all those, but those weren't tied to anything. Those were just in and of themselves. So, I mean, Marvel has done plenty of animated movies. I had the older Iron Man one. It was pretty good. They did a Blade one, too, if I remember correctly. It was surprisingly good. Oh, we have Blade coming up at some point. I mean, like, I think it would be interesting if we got, like, especially if we get this Spider-Verse situation with the new, the next Spider-Man movie, and we have Into the Spider-Verse that is literally a thing, minor crossover there. So, say you want to do more Spider-Man movies, but you don't need to have real film, but you still want to hold Tom Holland to contract and the other characters, freaking animate them and include them in the Spider-Verse movies that are coming. Spider-Verse 2, whatever that's one's going to be. If we're talking about filming live action, a lot of what's up in the air right now due to problems of both financial, physical, and unforeseen stuff. I mean, yes and no. Everything's getting back on its feet. I mean, we're getting dates. The only thing that has yet to ever make sense why they delayed it is Black Widow. Black Widow should have been dropped on Disney Plus last year, middle of the year, when it was supposed to come out. But there is a reason that they shuffled everything. Not just due to the production problems of COVID, but there's a reason they've held on to Black Widow till this year. Something is going to happen in that movie that matters. That's the main reason that they've held on to it. Or else they could have just dropped it like they did everything else. Yeah, I know, but the problem is that they screw up the schedule like they did with because what was it? Falcon and Bucky, I think, was supposed to be the beginning of the TV series, but they started with WandaVision, which was supposed to be much later, and now we're getting rumors that Paul Bettany's contract as Vision is up, and he doesn't know if he's going to come back to play Vision. I was like, yeah, but he also made a really bad lie about working with an actor he's always wanted to work beside, and he trolled everybody. So, I mean, Paul Bettany is a giant troll. So him saying he won't play Vision when he's got a huge storyline, like just floating out there, and he becomes, he's a super important character, when it comes to Wanda's story. So I think he's trolling. I think he'll definitely come back. I gotta wonder, because I mean, they've even got, supposedly they've got Chris Evans coming back to probably reprise his role in a more period piece Captain America movie, um, that took place back during the war, something like that, where they may or may not introduce a certain James Howlett, you know? Yeah, I mean, I get that, but that is a really ridiculous reason to hold on to a movie like this. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it's like if they say, "Oh, we have to make this much money," they could make that much money. I mean, if nothing else, re-release it in the theaters. But you are literally screwing up your own movie timeline, your whole phase timeline for a flashback movie that nobody really wanted in the first place. So they could have just dumped it. So there's something else going on there, you know? I mean, like, and they already had all their brand deals. The toy line, gone. All the brand deals, done. So it's like they're waiting to actually get the money from the theaters. Okay. Theaters have been open. Disney Plus has been going. Like, they did, a lot of the Disney movies that have come out, a lot, not all, but a lot of them have come out for free. Cruella, which they know they needed to make money on because it's whatever it is $30 for a weekend, or maybe it's a permanent thing. Same difference for Black Widow. Charge everybody $30 on Disney Plus. Throw it out there. It makes no sense. Yeah, and that's what DC did, and it ruined a lot of their shit. Ploy for more money. With Paul Bettany, I don't know. I mean, like, it's stupid. Like, hey, we're just gonna just make the fans wait for no real reason. But in the meantime, we have all these other things in production that are all staggered, and then we're depending on these things. But now we have to completely screw it all up, because if we don't get it out, then people will get bored. But this one movie doesn't matter enough, so we'll just hold on to it for a whole year and try to keep jogging interest in a movie that nobody really asked for, along the way. It's like, just do it. Like, just drop it. You need to make money. You could have made money. There are solutions. It's like, they're not going to make $1 billion on that movie. They're not. They might make 130 the first weekend, something like that. And, depending on the situation with China, they might lose one of their biggest markets. Who the hell knows? Or Russia, because a lot of this movie takes place in Russia. Cruella is off the premium thing. Yeah, I mean, if you have the premium, which means you're paying extra anyways. Otherwise, if you're just a normal Disney Plus subscriber, you got to pay $30, which I wasn't willing to do. Yeah. I mean, like, Warner Brothers was burying themselves anyways in their movie universe. That was just stupid. They made a whole lot of mistakes, and it's all coming home now. Yeah, it's just one exec who doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know. And the Star Wars is a mess in and of itself too. Not, they made enough mistakes over there that, we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Oh, I see what you meant. Yeah. No, if it was normally, if it was on regular Disney Plus, I would have watched it because I heard it was actually pretty good, and I'm interested in it because it's Emma Stone. I like me some Emma Stone. So that's a question for you guys. Who's one of your favorite actresses that, even if it's a bad movie, you'll probably watch? And I'm saying, for the ladies, actor. Excuse me. Emma Stone is one of those for me. Like, if she's in a movie, odds are I'll watch that movie. No. Why would there be a franchise I wouldn't complain about? They all have issues. There's no perfect franchises. Emma Watson. Yeah, but I mean, I like her, But like, I don't think I've ever watched another movie with Emma Watson that wasn't Harry Potter. Know what I mean? Nick Cage is a must. His movies are bad but funny. Um, Maybe. No, I understand that, Antonio. I get that. I do, and it's a huge clusterfuck considering all of the infrastructure they built at least for DC, Warner, Time Warner, AT&T wanting out from under that because hemorrhaging money on that one. I mean, like HBO in and of itself isn't really working, and by them taking on all of the CW stuff or Warner Brothers stuff, uh, while they hoped that would be beneficial, yeah, no, especially considering, it was nice to have all that stuff into one place, but I also found it funny that a lot of things found its way back to Netflix. Wait, hold on. Henry Cavill doing Highlander? I mean, isn't that like halfway between, like Superman and The Witcher? Also, whatever happened to Witcher season 2? Was it just stuck? Was that stuck in COVID hell? Gold Cat, what up? Oh, she's been in a ton of great movies. I remember what was it? The Circle was one. One of the only other movies that I know of that she was actively in. I just don't pay attention to Emma Watson movies, to be completely honest. I like Emma Watson. Don't have a favorite actor. I just want to see things happen. I just want to watch a movie. I don't care who's in it. All right. Not invested in actors or actresses. Okay, so is there a car? Joey, give me 3 movies Emma Watson has been in other than the ones I listed. I mean, I'm not interested. I'm not mocking you. I just want to know. What's your season 2 SSN2 started filming earlier this year? Good. Okay. Yeah, I thought I saw him like you made a post like with the wig back on. I like The Witcher. I mean, it was such a strange way to tell a story. I was intrigued. Um, and not knowing anything about The Witcher except for like a few YouTube, like, who is The Witcher? Who is Geralt of Rivera? No, what? Rivia. No, Rivera. Geraldo Rivera. Oh my god. That was it was a good show. It was a very weird show, and it was hard to get the wifey into it. But again, data change, have entire distribution line chugging while studios are waiting. It's just that. Yeah. Well, here's the problem. We don't have equal opening yet. We're getting there. So movie theaters, assuming that they're even still in existence, with uh what's the one I'm thinking of? The one whole chain basically just went bankrupt and said, "Bye, we're closing forever." Um, I don't know why I can't think of the name. Either way, I did actually go to a couple of those theaters, so that sucks. But like locally, my theaters didn't close 100%. They shut down to 50. They weren't serving food or drinks or anything. So I mean, there were no real movies to watch, but they were either putting out ones they still had, or if there was a release that came out, they would run them, try to make whatever money they could make on a skeleton crew, stuff like that. So, I mean, even the one that's literally around the corner that I usually go watch anything and everything in, that's where I watched Godzilla. They were still under at least 50% protocol and wearing a mask while you were in there. And that was well after the mask mandate dropped. But the fact that we can't equally say that, hey, we can open theaters and let movies actually out sucks. So, if there was a way to profit share between the streaming, like if only theater companies, however you want to call it, were tied into profit sharing from streaming services that borrow the revenue so that industry could keep alive long enough to survive the pandemic, that would have been good. Beauty and the Beast. Okay, so there's one I did see. I'll give you that. I said 3. Perks of Being a Wallflower. Heard of it. Didn't watch it. Bling Ring. Heard of that one. Gotcha. Little Women. She was in Little Women. Okay. I said The Circle. I said that one. Oh yeah, she was the wife in Noah, wasn't she? Or the daughter-in-law. I didn't watch Noah. I kind of wanted to, but it's Russell Crowe. Iffy thing. I didn't watch Little Women either. Bling Ring I knew about, but I didn't hear anything good about. Hold on. A rumored Alien 3 replacement. I don't know, but well, I mean, are they doing sequels to Prometheus still, or are they gonna jump back to the Ripley timeline and skip the other crap? Hold on. Hold on. Comments are going too fast. Let me read this. Theaters are not getting better. I saw the Quiet Place 2 numbers. They were toting 50 million pull on a 3-day weekend. The first film made 314 on its first 2 days. Yeah, I mean, it's still not good. I didn't say it was good. I said it was getting better. But like I said, when you've got half the country still completely shut down, you can't release movies anywhere. I mean, I wanted to watch Quiet Place 2. I just didn't get around to it. And, that movie didn't get hardly any press. There was no build up to it. Plus, I don't know that there was anybody who was asking for a sequel there. This is one problem that has always plagued sci-fi movies when it comes to sequels. And, it's barely a sci-fi movie other than the fact that it has aliens. It's just like you told a really good story. You could have left it. I didn't need A Quiet Place 2. I really didn't. I mean, I'm cool with what's going on, but to me, it's just The Walking Dead with aliens. And we kind of got that in a TV show already that wasn't that good. That went on for far too long. What do I think of the new 30-minute mission kits? You're going to have to be slightly more specific. They show them off a lot. I don't have anything past like did I get the Seal Nova? I think I got the Seal Nova. No, I didn't. I got a different one. It's been a while since I bought any 30-minute mission kits. I think they're cool. I like the 30-minute mission girls, so to speak, that they're doing. I think that's an interesting concept, especially if you can mount. I got a thing with a wrist tendon. And that hurts. Is it attached to the pinky? Is that the problem? Pinky or ring finger? That hurts. Tendonitis, I guess, on my wrist. If that's a thing. 30-minute missions, cool stuff. I like the modularity of it. I like the display slash diorama thingies they're doing. I think they're all cool. I think they're making probably too many for the people who are buying them. I guess without lore, and I know they're doing a thing for that, but like without lore, I have a hard time connecting to it on like Gundam series and other model kit series. I like everything they do. I just don't need to have it, if that makes sense, which is part of the discussion I had earlier. If I built them and somebody just took them off my hands or purchased the built ones, like if I had a deal where people were with somebody who didn't want to build but wanted the kits, and I could just build them, review them, and they foot the bill, I would do that. I like what they're doing. Like I said, 30-minute missions are neat. They're mostly affordable. I feel like they're just going to there's going to be price creep over time. It's like, well, now it comes with this mini runner, so it's not $10 anymore. Things like that. Some of the ones, they basically look like they're looking a lot like the Alice Core. I kind of don't care about those. I don't know what's going on there, but it looks like they're just straight borrowing from Gundam. Hold on. Speaking of Godzilla, I pre-ordered that new one. The one from the new anime / series. Is that what you're talking about? Noah was weird, bro, and that's as a Catholic. That's funny. Yeah, I heard it was a little odd. Decent effects, I thought. Disney is in charge of Alien. Oh, they are. I didn't know that. And they're not greenlighting anything till they get more stable numbers. Posting a $600 million loss this quarter, even after mass firings. Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take a while, obviously, to get the world back on its feet. And then once again, major international issues happening that may extremely hurt their bottom line, as China is now the number one movie going audience in the world in size. There's more people watching the movies in China than anywhere. So everybody wants to please China to get their movies sold. And with international pressures being what they are, who knows? It's going to be a crapshoot. It may take movies tanking for a while before they get there. And also merch sales probably way down. Frankly, they should not have bothered making Marvel Legends for Shang-Chi, because, I mean, nobody cares about the characters. Not trying to be mean. There are people who like those comics. They like that character. Nobody's seen these movies. They're releasing the toys months before the movies. Nobody has a reason to care. And they made way too many of Aquafina's character that will just never sell. And that all goes into their bottom line, not just the movie itself. So it's a lot of things they don't get. Oh, Singular Point. Yeah, that's crazy long. See, and he's also evolving in Singular Point, right? A lot like Shin Godzilla. The Spinato is pretty rad. Was someone server? Yes, I thought I saw some of those. Oh, there it is. Yes. Okay, so Spinacio looks cool. Spinacio, I think it's my jam. I think Attack Gun Girl, Change Lady, whatever uses the same design engineering. Yeah. So yeah, lots of things. More people piling on now here at 8:42 p.m. If you guys, when is that new, for guys to pay more attention? When is that new Seed series dropping? Because if it's at an okay time, maybe I'll review it. I don't have anybody right now to review things with, so there's that problem. I do not have a reviewing partner to have a review podcast with anymore, so I don't know how well that will go. You guys probably don't want to sit here and watch me just review the thing on my own again. So, but if it's coming out later, I know obviously later this year, but like for me, I don't know. I was done with the Seed universe, and I don't care. I really don't. And I even made a comment on their original post. Hey, you've got fans waiting for stories to finish on animes you've already built, and you're going back to do new shit in a universe that everybody's done with. Don't make us wait 10 years between every finale of a series we want to see. You've still got Build Fighters and Build Fighters Try conclusion to do. And I don't give a shit about manga. Anime needs to happen. I don't care if it's just an OVA. I don't care if it's one big ass movie. Make it happen. I didn't really care about Island Wars, but it sort of melded the two ever so slightly. I thought it was an anime. Oh, then I really don't care. I really don't care if it's a movie or a manga. I thought it was a full anime. I absolutely don't care. It's like, that's not even worth my investment at this point. Yeah, so I don't even care. Don't even care. One-off thing. Don't care. I don't care about the Gundam and everything else like that. Sorry, I just saw that Arthur is watching Scott Pilgrim versus the World with his wifey. I was hoping it was going to be an anime and actually have some investment and interest to it. A one-off movie and a manga series that I can't read. Don't care. I really don't care. Theatrical manga. So don't care. Give us other stuff. I don't need a Gundam that transforms that way. It's like, oh look, it turns into a spaceship. I don't care. I do not care. I don't care. Hi, I'm Clint. I don't care. It is not good where it ended, because they literally were setting up for an epic final showdown between our main characters from different series, and we never got it. And I really don't care about the Astray series at all. Build Real, don't even care. I've tried watching the first episode during a live stream, just clicking through it. Really don't care about that. It's like, I'm sorry, you cannot really replicate a thing that you do in anime anywhere near as good in live action. Especially, like, I know they're doing their own thing that's not the same as GBN and all that other crap. Full size holographic Gundams fighting in real time. Basically, what they're doing, they're playing Yu-Gi-Oh. That's their dual disc. So they're summoning the monsters up to fight in Battle City. Don't care. I think it's stupid. I really think it's stupid. If you wanted to get me with, like, no, I'm not even gonna say. I don't want live action Gunpla fighting. I don't. I much better want the. Much better. Terrible English. I much rather anime any given day of the week. Like, it's just not worth it. Like, I don't want to watch a Haikyuu live action. That's just people playing volleyball. I want the anime. I don't want like not so great CG happening where I could have animation. Don't care. Looks like FG Megatron. In a way, I agree with you. Yeah, the new one. Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. So SD Heroes is where Gundams is right now. What? Hold on. Expect Ona with Twilight Access 2 coming. I don't know if that's what you meant. I mean, I'd be okay with some more Twilight Access. I mean, that was interesting to say the least, and at least takes place in the UC. But I could make a live action Gundam movie. You'd like, maybe. I'm just not interested. Like, even the live action Gundam movie that Legendary was supposed to be working on and is just somewhere in development hell. I still don't care because they're either gonna not do a good job adapting original Gundam, it seems like what they're going for, or they're gonna do something entirely new that nobody has any investment in, and therefore they have to try to get us invested in a live action thing. So no. You're not gonna lie. If they actually had people in suits, it would be pretty cool. If they did full on classic Sentai with that, might be worth it. Be a really strange way to do it, but it might be worth it. Yes, I know it's going to Netflix, Joey. I'm just saying, I don't know that I care. And I also don't want to physically climb into mobile suits either, because they just don't work. They just don't work until we get some super light metals, super light carbon composites that make it worth doing. It's better off if we have small mech suits. Thought you guys already did that. Did you guys not do that already? Also, I don't like hosting other people's stuff. I did that before where like somebody else had already set up their plan. Hey, maybe that was you. Maybe it was somebody else. Like, hey, we're doing this. Do you just want to facilitate? I'm like, do you need me to facilitate? Like, kind of the idea of this is literally like you go in blind and we set the rules as we go. Did you guys do a 3-way situation? Luna, Titanium, Jabro, Dirt. We don't have Jabro Dirt in this universe, Hida. We don't. Unfortunately. I don't know, Eric. Maybe. I miss doing the builder swaps, but like, I don't know. We'll see. It might be worth doing. We'll see what happens. But the thing is, you guys already kind of have an idea. Like, and you guys talk a lot. The whole point of the build swaps is to be completely secretive. You don't know what you're getting at all. And you guys have a bad habit of telling each other everything you're doing. So we'll see. There will have to be rules. It'll have to be like the good old days. I would like to do that, but I would like to do builder swaps again. Because because that was a lot of fun, especially for the people who participated. It's just like there's almost no community anymore, or at least not one that I'm technically even attached to, due to COVID. So like I definitely would like to do that when we can finally start having build meets again, and people aren't just like, okay, you've got this pocket of guys here. We're going back to the old days. We got a tiny pocket of guys who talk to themselves over here or to each other. You got like this one dude way over here who too far away for him to travel. You've got this other small group over here, and then you've got this group of 10 people over here that just don't want to tell anyone else where they meet because they're just like that. You know, we're back to those days, and we need to have a real community again. Like, I don't even, I talked to Dion the other day for a while, post COVID. He just wanted to catch up. He's doing pretty good. I need to check and see how his new job is, or schooling, I should say, is going. So, what else you guys got? I'll go for probably another 30 minutes. I did research on the Jabro dirt. It has to do with aeration of the soil. When you dig out for a house's foundation, it takes all the dirt you dug out to refill around the house. Yes, Joey. So there would be some dirt that would go back in. However, you're talking about building not a slab. You're talking about building a giant void. So it wouldn't take all the same amount of dirt because you wouldn't be 100% filling back in or building up. Hey, Jerry. So, I mean, they would still have millions of cubic feet of dirt that would have to be removed or turned into a mountain. And it would still be very obvious that they went, oh, yeah. And you got to think, they're not at the surface. They're digging this out mostly underground, in theory. So they would have to be excavating like a tunnel and then making sure there are no visible exits, because we're going to build it into the side of mountains and whatnot. There's a lot of digging, Joey. There's a lot of Joey. Do not go against the Jabro dirt theory. God damn it, I can't talk. Jabro dirt theory. It's proven. It was compressed into Psychoframe. No, I was saying they were building mountains out of the dirt, Joey, is what I was talking about. It's like, you gotta pull it out. There is Jabro dirt. You're just mad that we didn't do the Gundam Info Wars. Your life is a lie. Technically speaking, but there's got to be a section that has to be colder. I haven't seen the new Singular Point Godzilla, but my random theory is that Shin won after the movie and evolved into his eldritch form they had written out. I mean, who knows? I don't subscribe to the Shin Godzilla universe. I am all in the Universal Monsterverse, to be totally honest. I mean, it's interesting, and then they got the red fog or whatever, red mist that's sort of taking over, and kaiju are coming from, I don't know. It would be weird if this is the universe that Godzilla created or Shin created, and then now he's got smaller other versions of himself. I don't know. It's just, I do not. It's fine if you like that. I have zero interest in it. I didn't even like Shin as a movie. I watched most of it and I didn't dig it. I mean, effects were cool. I didn't like the design of anything. So it is what it is. I prefer the legendary universe and still hold hope, especially with the last movie, that we somehow get a crossover. I know it won't happen, but crossover between Pacific Rim and Godzilla, especially considering they both have Netflix anime. It's it's okay. Just make a thing. Yeah, I know the MonsterVerse is all but dead now, or at least Godzilla's involvement in the MonsterVerse is essentially dead. Too bad. I liked the Monsterverse. I liked 2014. I like Skull Island. I like King of the Monsters a lot. I was pretty good with versus Kong. I wish Michael Dougherty had stayed on board to do that one because it would have looked consistent with the rest of the movies instead of doing some really odd turning them into characters. I didn't like that. Like these super close-ups on their faces, like so that you get their expressions like they're humans, threw me off all about Godzilla vs. Kong. I didn't say it was terrible. I said I really didn't like certain things about it. It isn't good. Oh, Del Toro? Oh, could you imagine if Del Toro was on board for a Pacific Rim Godzilla mashup? Holy crap. Actually, I thought about that the other day. A Del Toro legendary Godzilla movie would be fantastic. Or any kaiju. He could do, as long as he picked a kaiju he was in love with and wanted to do, cool. I mean, if he wanted to do a Jet Jaguar movie, that whatever, something within that universe. But the fact that they made all other Titans just sort of go away and or be dead. Um, so like if Godzilla is supposed to be the alpha, he's in command of all other kaiju or Titans, sorry. Wrong universe. Titans. So if he can command them and they have to listen to him, except for Kong, because Kong bows to no one. If he just needed to beat Kong in a submission, all he had to do was call Rodan. Now get some air superiority. Call in Leviathan. He could have called in any of them, but somehow they're defeated at the beginning of this movie with nothing in there. Monsterverse Theory. Gyra and Sanda will be Kong clones. What? Somehow that comment jumped into there. Chernobyl were much more south somewhere with lizard. Shin Godzilla wouldn't be fiction. Bad enough that Fukushima is gonna flush the radioactive water to level the site. Okay, flush with. Sorry, I read that wrong. Oh, I did read that wrong. I heard GVK did well at the box office. I mean, sure. Oh yes, Destroya would be awesome. I mean, you got to figure out how to get Destroya in there. Realistically, because we know that Ghidorah was an alien. Destroya is an alien. Space Godzilla, obviously alien. The fact that Mechagodzilla wasn't created by aliens was weird. Just the whole the Mechagodzilla storyline was dumb. They could have done more with that. Like they should have done like a Mecha Ghidorah more than a Mecha Godzilla. And the fact that they cut all of Ren Sarazawa, damn it. Ren Sarazawa's storyline was completely cut. There was a whole extra storyline with Monarch that was cut, and we got shenanigans with, as they are known, the podcast gang. Which, give me some Millie Bobby Brown, fine. I didn't need Julian, I forgot his last name. That character didn't even need to be in this movie, period. Deadpool 2 kid. I think they had a good movie, and then they went, hey, let's make this movie bad. I said it was a bad movie. I didn't. Guerra and Sandals are from War of the Gargantuans. Okay. Made by the Oxygen Destroyer bomb, which was used in King of the Monsters. Okay. Oh, he was? What if he did, also, I don't even know where the Toho rights fall. That's why they invented so many new Titans and only used like the 4 classics. What about oh my god, I'm drawing a blank. The plant alligator one. Why am I drawing? I can see it in my mind, and I can see its different forms. Who am I thinking of here? Oh, he wasn't an alien. Maybe I'm crossing Space Godzilla because I kind of watched them similarly. Like Space Godzilla with Destroya, I'm sort of crossing. I said it was a bad movie. It can be a bad movie and me be okay with it. Biolante, thank you. I knew it started with a B. Couldn't think of it. I've watched the Biolante movie, at least most of it. Because sometimes they cut scenes when you watch this shit online. It wasn't terrible. Very weird. It is what it is. A constantly evolving thing. Although Destroya's like little like mini forms kind of freak me out. Um, yeah. Yes, Biolantia. Almost got it. Joey, stop trying to contradict me. Look, I said it wasn't a good movie. Okay. Like, there are some classic movies, but I think Biolante would be an interesting one for Del Toro to do. But like I said, he could have Godzilla crossover with Pacific Rim universe, have the rift open up, and it piss off Godzilla. And he's got to fight some kaiju. Like, imagine the Godzilla, or the Godzilla world multiverse, because we now know multiverse is a thing. Imagine that this Earth exists, and they said, okay, this one keeps killing us with giant robots, so let's try another one. And they open a rift into Godzilla's world, and now you've got these kaiju fighting titans. I'm down for that. Especially, also, it would be cool because they were sort of doing the drifting thing to make Mechagodzilla work. So Mechagodzilla was essentially a Jaeger. Later, buddy. Mecha Gamera. Interesting. Was that actually a thing? Or Gamera? Gamera, whatever. Maybe. But I think that's how you would do the Pacific Rim crossover. Now, the Pacific Rim anime was weird, and I watched it. They went off on some really intriguing ideas with that, and I love that it is taking place post Uprising, which is cool, but like so far away from the Uprising event that all the old characters are dead. Even I didn't even catch the fact they basically killed off the last real Jaeger pilot, like at the beginning of that. It's a very interesting story, but it's told so slowly. And I can't wait for the next season of that, assuming they actually make it. I thought that was a very interesting things. But I don't know. I think Del Toro would be an interesting one because he loves that stuff. That's why Pacific Rim Original was good and why Pacific Rim Uprising was not. It was shiny and there was a Gundam reference. But it was a bad movie. Like, that movie was bad. I just don't care. Yeah, I mean, they were just... Wait, which kaiju do you mean, though? The ones that were real kaiju, or do you mean the drones? Because I think the drones were a cool idea. I think that the ones that basically looked like, well, different parts of a bigger kaiju, I assumed that their problem was they didn't know they could get a rift open big enough to send through a kaiju of that size. Like, because they sent through what, like 3 4s that combined into what equated to a 6, something like that. But yeah, no, you're right. Totally uninspired. I mean, like, I hated forget the kaiju design of Uprising. I didn't like the Jaegers, like, because like they're slimmed down. They you don't get the sense of size anymore, which is one of the problems they had with the MonsterVerse as well when they were shooting things in like a wide shot, a wide open shot, and they're all together and they're moving super fast. It's like that was one thing about the old Jaegers is that they've moved as though they were 300 feet tall. There was a sense of weight when they did things. And these new ones are just like fast and they can run around real quick. And they tried to do some of the more slow-mo things in it, but like that movie was just bad. Like they didn't need what's his face to be Stacker's son. They didn't need that. I know they had to rewrite it because Charlie Hunnam didn't come in, and of course Del Toro said, "I'm out." So I mean, that movie was plagued to begin with, and they just put out the best crap they could just to salvage it. Yeah, because they were all different. Seems a soldier shooting at Ghidorah was dumb, I guess, but I mean, what else are they going to do? Also, does this seem like Monarch like got knocked to shit? Like, so that's the problem with GVK. Monarch, who had all of this advanced technology, especially regarding the Titans, nowhere to be seen. They're helping with the damage from Godzilla's attack, but you don't see any of their tech. You see like a car, and you see some of their systems and things like that. And you see one Monarch base when they're in Hong Kong, and you don't see anything of it. But you don't see Monarch sending in the Argo. You don't see them sending in any of their advanced jets. But you get these other idiots who have ridiculously advanced technology to the point that they're building gravity stuff. I mean, the only advanced things you get from Monarch are the Skull Island base and the Antarctic base. And those are kind of just empty shells of sets, not anything super important. I'm just like, you guys couldn't have done this? Like, you got this other company that's clearly rivaling you in the dark and creating gravity tunnels through the earth to ship stuff from one end of the world to the other, and you have no idea? There's some bullshit going on. X, what the dog doing? I don't know. He doesn't live here anymore. They were busy fighting Ibira. Like, if they, like, so you've got Monarch, who was trying to get to the Hollow Earth, technically made it, but they're too dumb to figure out the gravity switch problem, especially going through the Stargate. Which, someone please explain to me how we went from hole in the ground to Stargate to inverted planet inside Earth that has a sun things. And I'm fine with shield worlds. I'm fine with Dyson spheres. The Hollow Earth makes no sense. Oh, Facebook notifications. Hold on, I gotta go see what this is. I'm just kidding. I saw exactly what it was. And like the fact that they introduced a whole bunch of new Titans, or at least large creatures in the Hollow Earth, neat. If they do continue with the Kongverse, as it's probably going to be, we'll see a lot more of the Hollow Earth, a lot more fights going on down there. Now we have a Monarch facility inside the Earth, even though, first of all, now that I think about it, they had to go through the Antarctic tunnel that led them to a hole that had a Stargate that let them through into the Hollow Earth. But Godzilla fires a plasma beam, you know what I mean? Atomic breath beam through down into the exact core, and Kong could physically climb through it without a gravity switching problem. Right. Also, let's just assume off screen, post main part of movie, Monarch took over Apex's technology. I'm going to make that assumption. They just said, your company is now ours because you did all of this. This stuff is ours. We can play with this now. Bride of Godzilla. That does sound familiar. Supposed to follow Raids again, serving as the last chapter in a trilogy. Interesting. I mean, like, the Hollow Earth idea is not new. I mean, they brought it up way back when. It's just that nobody could understand how the Hollow Earth would work. And I think that within the Hollow Earth, it was interesting. And I kind of like the idea that, like, even within it, there's this land and then a mirrored version of it basically up here, and you could jump from one to the other, and there was neutral gravity in between. It was a interesting concept, but with zero sense to it. It's like, is this a hollow planet? Is this a completely different universe now, but it can't be a completely different universe because they clearly show that it's inside the Earth, and Godzilla could shoot a beam that could go thousands upon thousands of miles into the Earth and still leave a solid hole with no Stargate. So it's like they really did bay up this movie. And I said it when I watched it. I'm like, this looks like Michael Bay was on board for this. Now, the fights were great. Don't get me wrong. The stuff in between the fights, as one person put it, just get the fucking monkey to Hong Kong. it's like all we got to do. We just got to get Godzilla to not Godzilla. We got to get Kong to Hong Kong. Just stupid. I mean, Mechagodzilla didn't even need to be a part of this movie. Let's just be honest. It was just a reason for them to fight together. They should have kept it with something else. Like, I don't know. Ghidorah. I probably didn't have licensing to Ghidorah, if I had to guess. And my movie person went away. He went to go to bed. Bride of Godzilla. So who would be Godzilla's bride? Because Godzilla Jr. came from somewhere. I don't know. That's why I'm putting it out there. I know how Godzilla Jr. became the new Godzilla. I just don't know where he came from. And I know, of course, the Godzillasaurus concept. He's not an ancient Titan thingy. He was a dinosaur thingy that got irradiated and then turned into a giant kaiju. So sort of doing the 98 thing or 99 thing. Not, obviously that happened before, but still they were borrowed the idea he's a irradiated lizard or a dinosaur. And I mean, like, even Marvel does the Hollow Earth with the Savage Lands, and I think DC has a very similar thing as well, to some type of Hollow Earth that has survived and prehistoric dealies are down there. But in this case, it goes beyond prehistoric. You've got hundreds of feet tall animals. You've got insects that are massive. So it's like Skull Island. Like, Skull Island is almost like a little protrusion into the real Earth of the Hollow Earth, which is actually pretty neat, which would also make sense as to why it keeps having issues, especially with the storm. Like, main Earth is rejecting it and trying to get rid of it. Be cool. But they've still never found a way into the Hollow Earth via Skull Island. So they're just like, we can map this much. We know it goes to here. We just can't get into there. And we don't have a Godzilla to make a big hole in the ground without a monkey finding an axe. Yes. The other movies totally made sense. This one was just like, throw shit at the wall and hope Michael Bay likes it. Okay. Different continuity, different oranges. I am aware. The Zilla, as it wasn't technically female, is asexual because it fertilized its own eggs. So it could be neither. But interesting note that the babies were sterile. As you found out from the cartoon. Not gonna lie, I actually kind of dug the cartoon. It's like, that would have been interesting. Okay. King Kong 2005. Oh, the Peter Jackson King Kong? Way too long. Could have been 2 movies. Could have had the Skull Island. Could have had the New York. Would have been fine. The entire scene, whenever they fall into the valley after the dinosaur chase and Andy Serkis gets eaten by giant bloodworms, and then there's crickets or what other giant insects were attacking the men, all nightmare fuel. But the movie as a whole basically being a modern retelling of the original Godzilla, or not Godzilla, King Kong. I like that. One of the 2 HD DVD movies I own. I got that one with the HD, with the I got that one with the HD DVD drive for the Xbox 360, and I bought Full Metal Jacket with it. So I own 2 HD DVD movies, and I just try to sell them now for collector's items. One of them is that King Kong, and the other one is Full Metal Jacket, because that's one of the best movies ever made. But no, that movie was good. It was just stupid long. I do love the scene of him, and of course, this Kong is not massive in the same way the new one is. Him playing in Frozen Central Park, on the ice with her. That was great. Or maybe it was on. Did he make it to the park? No, or was it just the frozen streets where he's like sliding around? Ever seen the extended cut? Jesus Christ! Is there an extended cut of that movie? No, or maybe I don't know if the one I saw was the extended cut. To be totally honest with you, I don't think I need an extended cut of that movie. It's already too long. I think that everything that movie could have started on the boat. It could have. For a movie that's supposed to be about King Kong, it's a whole lot about, was it Ann Darrow? What's her name? Ann something. And then whatever Adrian Brody's character's name was, the writer. Um, Jack Black. Was Jack Blacking it all over the place? Um, Trying to shoot a movie. I mean, like sticking to the idea that they're kind of appeasing Kong instead of Kong is protecting them. I like that. The scenes between her and Kong on Skull Island were good. The T-Rex fight, classic. The fact that he fought off 3 of them. I know they weren't technically T-Rexes, but you know what I mean. So, I mean, there's a lot of good to that movie, and then there's just a whole lot of that movie. Scene with a giant killer fish. No. King Kong with the zoomies. Kongolia. The zoomies. No, I don't know about all that. I'm glad they didn't do more with that universe, But at least the modern King Kong didn't die in his first movie. Everything is better than Son of Kong. Was it Son of Kong? Which one was the Jeff Bridges one from like the late 80s, early 90s? I don't know, that one was terrible. Mighty Joe Young, kind of in that universe, sort of. Not a terrible movie. Not a great movie, but not a terrible movie. Yeah, I guess so, yeah. Narcissistic and Weasley take on Denim. I forgot that was his name, to be totally honest. Like, I haven't watched that in forever. It comes on TNT and whatnot, or whatever channel. So, I mean, I'll watch it every now and then. I mean, I like that she dances to, like, make him laugh and stuff. And the fact that, like, he acts very much like a real gorilla. And I know that was Andy Serkis doing Kong at that point, if I remember correctly. The new guy was not Andy Serkis. It was. It's gonna come to me. Son of a bitch. Was it Scott Eastwood? Was that who that was? Everything about Rampage, the film, was train wreck. Yeah, I didn't even watch that movie. I didn't want to. Was it Scott Eastwood? There was a Scott. Hold on. Or was it Toby Kebbelman? Toby Kebbell, was that the guy who played Kong in that movie? Because he was the guy who was on his own and eventually got killed. He also did Kong. That's right. And he watched him fight the squid. Just want to make sure that's who it was. Let me just click on the character. I think that was him, Scott. I keep saying Scott. Toby Kebbell. Maybe. Oh yeah, he was the Planet of the Apes. Yeah, so that means yes. Even Dwayne Johnson can. First of all, why people keep thinking that The Rock can save any movie, they just need to stop with that shit, because that ain't the truth. The Rock really isn't that good. Oh, there it is. He played Chapman. Either way, probably. Scott Pilgrim. No. He was Koba. Yeah, okay. First of all, the Planet of the Apes movies were great. First one, a little cheesy. The next one's fantastic. The last two of the trilogy were absolutely fantastic. I kind of cried at the end of the final one. That was great. I've really enjoyed the Planet of the Apes movie, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Hobbs movie was a bad Fast Finish. Yeah, well, that's because of course he and good old Vin can't get along anymore because he's apparently some kind of bastard as a director. And I don't even care. Like the last Fast movie came out. Whoop-de-doo. I haven't watched it since 6 or 7, whichever one Shaw was from. Charisma doesn't always translate to acting chops. No. See, there's one thing we don't talk about enough is movies over here. See, I'm into all these things. But yeah. If you are good at playing a monkey, keep at it, Because Andy Serkis wasn't Andy Serkis Caesar? And then that dude was Koba. Do you have Psycho Green and Silver? I have the Hasbro Psycho Green. I do not have the Bandai Psychos or Psycho Green and Silver. The Psycho Silver is coming in a 2-pack, I believe, and it's coming with the Zane head, which is interesting because we're getting this Psycho version before we get the Ranger version. Andy is directing Venom 2. Especially after watching the trailer for Venom 2, I'm still not very interested in that movie. Regular Venom was okay. This one, now that I've seen the trailer, looks like it's going to be a more buddy cop version of the first, because you have the problem that Marvel has, is you're always ending up with a villain that has the same power set as you. Now, mind you, Carnage, slightly different creature, in a literal sense. However, so was everybody he kind of fought with in the first movie. It's just like, okay, unless you have like the bonds built between that, and whether or not it's Carnage is the true offspring of Venom, or it's just another symbiote that managed to make it to Earth, or whatever. I don't know. I like that they fixed Woody Harrelson's hair. That weird curly hairdo they did at the end of Venom was terrible. I like the idea he's obsessed with Eddie Brock. Almost like the way Eddie Brock was obsessed with Peter Parker. We need a whole Psycho rainbow. I mean, we already got a whole box set of the Psychos, which was nice. She Venom versus She Carnage, I hope is not from his interviews. That sounds terrible. Although She Venom was pretty cool, not gonna lie. But Venom having bonded with both of them would sort of know what it was like. Never mind, not gonna finish that. Rare opportunity to buy whatever that is. What? Planet of the Apes. Sorry, took me a minute. You know what? I never saw any of those in the theater. I watched them all at home on Redbox. So, now that I think about it, I never saw any of the new Planet of the Apes, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. I never saw any of those in the theater. Now that I think about it, would have been great. IMAX would have been amazing. I hate how Cletus Cassidy is written as a hick these days. He wasn't, no, he was just a psychopath murderer. And weighing his Venom. I don't know. I mean, the Venomverse, fine. They need to fix the effects. They looked pretty bad at the end of the first movie. Venom is okay. The whole scene in the trailer of him trying to cook breakfast and he's literally just throwing all this garbage on the plate because either Venom has no concept of what food needs to taste like, or he just needs as many calories as possible to keep from dying, and he won't let him eat people, which makes sense. Especially when he eat brains. He really likes to eat brains. My favorite part of the trailer is when he goes into the store and he's like, "Hey, Miss Chen," or Miss Chen says, "Hey, Eddie. Hey, Venom," and then they each say, "Hey, Mrs. Chen." That part is kind of funny, but like, unless Venom is speaking out loud, then it's just in Eddie's head, like usual. So we'll see what happens there. Psycho Orange, Psycho Purple. Stop it. We don't need other colors. Yeah, I saw that. I don't really care about a Craven the Hunter. I thought Joe Manganiello or whatever his name was would have been good for it, but he's kind of always big, bulky dude. Um, I mean, it's in the Sony verse, not technically the MCU, so we'll see what happens. Might be good, Aaron Taylor Johnson, but he's gonna have to bulk up a lot. So he's gonna have to go on that Marvel diet. Almost got a Venom Carnage hybrid. Yeah. Coal is loaded with calories. That's funny. Yeah, it's full of carbon. Sorry, I'm drinking this thing. Also, who was asking about the dog earlier? That was some X. X hasn't said anything else. Tom Selleck is Craven the Hunter in Sam Raimi film. No, because he wouldn't have the physicality. Because he's an old motherfucker. The hard part is pulling off the facial hair and the look. I assume that if it's remotely MCU'd within the Sony MCU universe, the big hair and like the lion kind of face, I'm talking about on the clothes, the leopard print and all that, is not going to be the same way. I assume he'll look a little bit like Killmonger. It would be interesting if he had any connection to Killmonger and or Wakanda, even though they can't technically reference it. It's like, it just is what it is. We'll see what happens. But or is the Sonyverse not even a no? Sonyverse is still a problem. It's the other one, like Fox, that got bought, not Sony. Sony's still holding out. Um, I don't know. I mean, the Morbius movie is in development hell, or probably just due to COVID and them being like, well, we'll figure it out. And that is supposed to be taking place in a universe that has Spider-Man, even though the one that was on the wall that was clearly Raimi verse was, they even said, like, look, that's just a placeholder. Obviously, graphics aren't done. We just had a thing. We slapped it there. Tom Selleck, Sam Elliott. Um, I don't know. I don't know who would be a good Craven, because you would need somebody who could do the physical work, someone who could just do all the cheese that has to be there for it, because he's a very serious character at the same time. So I don't know. I gotta move my arms here. See, look, how am I getting? Oh, okay, sorry. I thought I was getting things here. I want gritty live action Scarlet Spider with David Thewlis as the Jackal. David Thewlis. Help me out here. Rule 63 Cougar. David Thewlis. Who is that? The name is really familiar. Tell me one of his main roles. Real quick. I mean, a Scarlet Spider would be fun, but you have to explain that. Like, you just gotta be but I probably lost signal there for a second. But a Scarlet Spider would be interesting, but then you gotta be like, by the way, clones. Um, no, no. I don't want Jason Momoa in the MCU. I like Jason Momoa, but I'm so tired of that. He shouldn't have even been Aquaman. Let's just be honest here. He could have played other characters. It would have made way more sense. I liked his Aquaman, but I like Jason Momoa. His Aquaman is just Ronan from Stargate Atlantis, which is also irony. Hold on. Okay, Jessica Drew, Spider Woman. Yeah, I heard something about that. I also don't care. Oh, Yeah. I knew the name. Yes, Jackal. I mean, I guess. I mean, he's also getting on in years too. So, I mean, would he be able to really get it? I mean, he's freaking 58. I mean, yes. A long ass time ago when he was Einen. Very long time ago. Dragonheart. There's a movie that never gets talked about. Hold on. I'd go with someone older than Tom Holland, depict her as his cynical older lover, a la Mrs. Robinson. I don't know about that. I think that would get a little awkward. But I mean, like, Black Cat would have to come in much later. I mean, we don't even have a Mary Jane proper. Um, we don't even have a Gwen Stacy. You know, he's got other girlfriends who should come in first. I don't even think we get to a Black Cat. And I don't know, because I kind of want somebody unknown. I am very tired of A-list actors popping into franchises like this. Like, go B-list or totally unknown. Who the hell was Tom Holland before he was Spider-Man? Anyone? Nope. Julian Dennison. Took me a while. Finally got it. Brain was running in the background because I couldn't remember his last name. Did that in Spider-Man PS4 game. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but he's older. You know, this Peter Parker is still in high school, if not just graduated. I think we need a few years on him before we do that, in theory, but, you know. Yeah, I mean, like, you got it, but the thing is, he's got to have those so that he has that duality problem. Otherwise, you end up with Batman Catwoman. You know, very easy but very complicated relationship versus Bruce Wayne and somebody, and then him having to go Batmaning. I mean, you need that struggle. That's always Spider-Man's struggle. His personal life versus being Spider-Man. If you take that away, then it's a problem. Of course, Michelle, like I said, we don't have Mary Jane. We have Michelle. Fine, Zendaya, whatever. Early relationship. Bleh. I need Mary Jane Watson. Sorry. And I need eventually a Gwen Stacy. Just as what it is. We can get a Black Cat down the line, but he's got to have these civilian girlfriends to learn that part, and he already sort of is with Far From Home. But those are his things he can lose. See, the problem with having like an older girlfriend, like a decently, like say he's got like a 22-year-old Black Cat who's sort of, you know, whatever. She's not going to have the same kind of interest as him. I mean, it's an interesting idea, but like, I don't see why she would be interested in this kid versus him interested in this obviously sexy older woman who's a bad girl. You know what I mean? He looked really bad in that Uncharted movie. I didn't even watch the Uncharted movie. Couldn't even remember there was an Uncharted movie, to be honest. I mean, like, you'd have to have a reason for the clone. That's what I'm getting at. Like, we've already done life model decoys. We're getting scrolls. See, the problem is you can't do Scarlet Spider after we do Secret Wars, because you're gonna have people who've clearly been replaced with scrolls who look alike. Blah 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 blah. We'll have to deal with that, and then you come back and do a clone again. But then you'd have to be like, wait, is he just a scroll? And then you find out, no, he's a clone. But then you have a reason for it to be the clone. And the question is, this is a pretty good question considering the way things have gone. Do we ever get back the Kingpin in New York? And yes, bring back Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. I demand it. Yeah, but the thing is, like, he doesn't, because so far, at least, nobody's gone for Ned. Ned is the guy in the chair. Eventually, Ned just gonna go away just due to life, just what's gonna happen. But he needs a romantic. He needs that. So if you want to give him, like, when Black Cat came along in a lot of the stories, he was with either Mary Jane or somebody else, and then it's like, ooh, you know, then you could have even that aspect. She gets me. She's on this mask thing, just like me. She's a bad girl. I like that. Arc thing is kind of stressed. That works for me. Vincent and Charlie Cox. Dude, they've said so many people are supposed to be in that movie. There's just a lot of rumors. There's a lot of confirmed, but I mean, here's the problem with the way they set up the last movie ending. It would have made sense for Charlie Cox to come back in as Matt Murdock, but not Daredevil. To represent Spider-Man in this whole, or at least either Spider-Man or Peter Parker. Which, by the way, they can, if they have access, they can just use Skrulls to fix this problem. Let's just be honest here, especially if Fury's paying attention. You can just send a Skrull down to be Spider-Man, so we can literally have Spider-Man, and we can have Tom, or he could pretend to be Peter. It'd be easier than Spider-Man because he could have his own physicality. Or actually having a Skrull be Spider-Man but not be Peter Parker makes the most amount of sense. But and that could easily lead into Secret Wars. But what we're getting at here, I have a weird, like, something's blocking my nose and causing me to whistle lately. It's really strange. What would be interesting is if I kind of like that idea. Scarlet Spider gets introduced as a separate chunk, and it is Tom Holland, but like not the Spider-Man we know. And then he gets pulled into the main universe, and he's like, "Wait, who are you?" You know, if we don't go the clone route, but we're going with Spider-Verse route, then it makes more sense for Scarlet Spider to be pulled from elsewhere. Just for me. Okay, you're still making the argument that it should be an older one. Like a couple years, maybe, but to me, no, I don't want that because, like, so far he's still fresh out of high school. That would just be odd. Like, especially considering that Aunt May looks the way she does. I don't know if Skrulls can because it's kind of hard for them to maintain their form for a long period of time, I thought. So my nose keeps whistling. It would be interesting if they forgot who they were and went native. But I mean, like, ever since they set up that Fury is on what we assume is the sword base, or what should have been the sword base, with all the Skrulls, we have no clue how Secret Invasion is going to go. So they would have went from being our allies and us helping them basically get back on their feet post Captain Marvel, post all these other things. And you're telling me that they're going to turn around and betray us, or maybe it's just a small sect of them that betrays us, and then they do Super Skrulls and whatever. I'm not sure. I don't believe that that's what they would do for Felicia Hardy. I think that they would go a different route. Because they can. I mean, almost everything's been based out of the Ultimates anyway, so who knows? Who knows? All right, but I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. We're going to call it a stream. Thanks for coming and hanging out, guys. I'm glad for anybody who was here asking questions, which is pretty cool. Normally I'm just talking about a topic or something like that. It's just fun to sit and chat for a while. Of course, if you are watching from either of the three main channels that I'm currently streaming to, go subscribe to the other channels. Like, if for some reason you're subscribed to Shoky Reviews too, but you're not subscribed to regular Shoky Reviews, what are you doing? And don't forget that I have the third channel, which is It Doesn't Have to Make Sense. And that's where I'm doing the other reviews. I just burped up some lunch. I got heartburn now. This beer also makes everything hurt. So go subscribe to those things. If you have any suggestions for the It Doesn't Have to Make Sense channel for me to react to or review, whether that's music videos, whether it's cool animations or silly compilations, send it in the comments or in the chat, and I'll check it out later. I got a couple things suggested, but I need more content for that channel, and it's always hard coming up with my own stuff. But I have a lot of stuff to do. You like older women, and that's fine. The second longest relationship I've had was with a woman who was 5 years older than me. It is what it is, and I don't want to sue you. It's too expensive, and I have no grounds. I sued him because he kept talking about older women in the chat. But I'll catch you guys later. Remember, as always, to keep on nerding, to keep on building, and let's keep building this community together. And if you're over on the other channel, it doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be loud. I'll see you guys later. No Masquerade Monday tomorrow. Sorry, but way more content coming. Bye, guys.